2002, a series of explosions rocking Soweto, Bronkhorstspruit and KwaZulu-Natal, ostensibly to sow chaos and mayhem and overthrow the government. After swift action, the far right-wing plans were halted.
It is my assessment that there are about 30 plus right-wing organizations, but with a very limited constituency.
Some explosive revelations there. The head of the State Information Technology Agency admitting a former employee was financially supporting jailed Boeremark leader Andre du Toit. And MPs are obviously concerned about what this means for national security.
Since 1994, the Afrikaner right wing seemed to have disappeared off the scene. Maybe we'd been lulled into thinking the right wing had disappeared because most Afrikaners embraced the new South Africa. Since 1994, there have been a number of violent incidents by a small group of people who seem intent on establishing an ethnic Afrikaner state in South Africa. In September last year, the police say they've uncovered a Boeremark plan to bomb the Sustainable Development Summit in Johannesburg. Later the same month, they find a truck parked in an industrial area of Lichtenburg in the northwest province. It's packed with ammunition, petrol bombs, food, military and medical equipment.
Small arms ammunition.
Police believe the truck was to have served as a mobile headquarters in the event of a conflict. Shortly afterwards, an arms cache is found on a farm near Modimolle in Limpopo province. This includes large amounts of explosive material, bomb canisters and ammunition. In October, 8 bombs explode in Soweto. Another explodes in Bronkhorstspruit. In November, a bomb damages the police aerial wing at Grand Central Airport in Midrand. In December, the police intercept a bakkie packed with explosives. They believe the intended target is a soccer match in Pretoria.
It will always be some support for right-wing groups.
At the fringes, as it were?
Yes, definitely. And inspired by the prophecies of people like Sinner van Rensburg, which they believe in. And
what do they predict?
They predict what they call the night of the long knives, the Nag van die lang messe, and then there will be an attack of black people on white people, and after that there will be a short arm struggle, and that will be the start of fighting for the new freedom of a Boer republic.
This was one of their alleged plans. First, a Boer army is established. Secondly, chaos is created and 4,000 men are mobilized countrywide. Then the electricity is cut in Bloemfontein and Gauteng. Traitors are eliminated and radio stations taken over. Army and police bases are also taken over. Jailed right-wingers are freed. All blacks and Indians are driven towards KwaZulu-Natal. KwaZulu-Natal is then bombed to force them out of South Africa altogether. Then a Boer Republic is declared. And on the very face of it, there are interesting parallels between some of the Boeremark's alleged plans and events outlined in some of the seers' visions. One of the Boeremark's plans is to guard the railway line between Prieska and Luderitz. No explanation is given, yet these towns have great significance in a vision of Sinner van Rensburg. Lichtenburg also features. Last year, letters are sent to various people urging them to gather at the Lichtenburg Commando for the declaration of a Boer Republic. Again, Sinner has significance. Then there's of course the alleged plan to drive black and Indian people to KwaZulu-Natal. And once there, they are to be violently driven from this province too.
The first of the Boeremark members attacked, among others, the police air wing at the Grand Central Airport and blew up railway lines, bridges and a Buddhist temple, and conspiring to murder former President Nelson Mandela. The men also planted a bomb on the road Mandela was supposed to use on his way to open a rural school. But the plan was unsuccessful when he arrived by helicopter instead.
The police now admit that the Boeremark is a bigger threat than initially thought, and a more accurate profile of the people involved is emerging. In May 2001, the first 3 Boeremark members are arrested, among them Michael du Toit. He's a lecturer at Vista University and has a master's degree in philosophy. Police seize a crucial document from his house. It's called Document 12 and is a military plan. It's alleged du Toit is the author and a mastermind of the planned coup. By the end of the year, 23 members of the Boeremark have been rounded up. This includes the other alleged commander, Ton Foster. The charges against them range from treason to terrorism and sabotage.
Judge Eben Jordan managed to read out about 40 pages of his judgment. The judgment itself started with a summary of the alleged blueprint document setting out a 5-phase plan for the Boeramag to take over the country. The document is a 54-page document and was found on the computer of accused number 1 in the case, Mike du Toit's computer, when he was arrested in 2002. The plan sets out the organization and mobilization of members, how to obtain weapons and explosives, and other equipment like two-way radios. According to the document, the Boeramag also planned to take over several military bases and radio stations, including the SABC. Judge Jordan also summarized the controversial part of the plan where blacks and Indians would have been driven out the country.
The men are also linked to several other unlawful extremist activities aimed at toppling the government.
The Boeramag members have been sentenced to between 10 and 35 years in prison. But 5 of them won't be going to jail. Mastermind Mike du Toit, military chief Tom Forster, and the so-called bomb squad will serve some time in prison. This despite their 30 to 35-year sentences being slashed by 10 years. At least 5 Boeramag members walk free after they were handed a suspended 10-year sentence.
So-called Witwolf Barend Strydom, who killed 7 black people during a shooting spree in Pretoria in 1998, and Marius Harding of the Boere Republikeine were among the right-wingers in court today. Boeramag supporters still feel the 20 men did nothing wrong.
Why there must be an investigation? Because I think there is definitely police involvement in the case.
As long as the Boer folk is not free, we will have freedom fighters. And as long as we have freedom fighters, we will have treason trials.
As long as there are Boers, they will be looking forward to their freedom.
Afrikaners have progressively lost their previous positions of power and privilege. An environment has been created for alienated groups of people to try and regain what they've lost. This, with religion and a history of separateness, makes for a lethal cocktail.
So long as the principle of Afrikaner self-determination is not adequately addressed, phenomena like these will come more prevalent.